Are you a bad DPS player, but do you also want a better rank? Tired of losing rank games just because you're not an Overwatch pro team wiping every fight? I'm gonna help you all out by teaching you the best ways to climb comp as a DPS main. My name is Nate and welcome to Blizzard Guides. This guide is going to be 5 simple tips of things that you have to understand when you're playing DPS so that you can actually win the fights for your team. Believe it or not, even though DPS is arguably the easiest to climb with role than others, most of you DPS mains out there aren't really doing it the best way that you can. Also, really quick, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our Instagram where you can find the best Overwatch memes and channel updates, so make sure you follow us at overwatch.guides. But anyway, with that said, let's hop into these tips. At number 5, you just gotta focus on the win conditions. Win conditions are something that most players in competitive don't understand. It's pretty easy to understand, so don't freak out, it sounds a bit confusing, but basically each fight there's a condition that needs to be met, a play that needs to be made, or something that you have to do that can impact the fight and win the fight. Sometimes win conditions are easy, like go to the right side instead of the left side, and sometimes win conditions are a bit more difficult, like make sure we drop on the Reinhardt at this time and then we push in and we flank right and we kill the Mercy before she reses. But basically, a win condition can be anything and everything that you need to do to increase the chances of winning a fight. So for example, let's say that you know for a fact that the enemy soldier has his ultimate. You're playing Tracer and your team has no shield at the moment and your diva isn't present in the fight. So that means that the soldier can ult very soon and he's probably going to try and go for a big team wipe with his ult and more than likely win the fight. However, you have your pulse bomb up. It's in your best interest to go get that soldier quickly, stick him, or at least harass him so that he can't use his visor and kill your team. Let's say that you're actually able to do this and suddenly your team wins the fight because the pressure from the soldier is negated and now they have to deal with the enemy ground units which aren't as good as the soldier was. This would be an example of you meeting a win condition. The truth of the matter is though, you don't know for sure if anything is a win condition except, team wiping. And even then, using all of your ults to get a team wipe could lose you the game because then you wouldn't have ults for the fight afterward. So win conditions are fluid and they're not definite. So Nate, you're telling me all about these win conditions but you can't tell me what they are or how to meet them? Well, yeah, win conditions kind of fall under that game sense category that grows over time. However, there's something that you can do to make sure that you improve your game sense and get those win conditions met more often. Every fight, if you get rolled or you rolled the enemy team, think about what caused that to happen. Was it because the Winston jumped into your team and went unpunished and killed your Mercy? Was it because a Genji got killed with Blade? There's a ton of reasons that you can win or lose a fight, so I can't go into all of them, but what I can do is tell you how to learn these win conditions. For example, if the Winston went unpunished and killed your Mercy, put pressure on him before he jumps so that he can't jump with full health, or focus him as he's jumping, or provide your Mercy with a way to escape the fight. There's a ton of options that you have that all make better chances to win the fight, and over time you learn what helps and what doesn't. If your Genji dies with Blade, perhaps the move you could have made is play aggressive, force the enemy to contribute abilities to you, causing them to not have a strong answer to Genji's Blade before he goes into the fight with the Blade. That's what I mean when it comes to win conditions. You have to understand what will cause you to win a game, try and meet that condition, and then win the fight. It's pretty simple to say, but you do really have to practice, so focus on what causes you to win and lose fights. At number 4, you need to get more value out of your ultimates. Now, don't hear me wrong here, I'm not saying that you have to get team wipes with your ult. What I'm saying is you have to stop using your ults for hero plays. Don't dump all of your ults into a fight if it's already won. Ultimate economy is the top tier meta game of Overwatch. If you can control it, you're going to win games way better. It's better to use your ultimate and get 2 kills before the fight starts than to use it alongside another 2 teammates' ultimates to get the cool 4K after your team has already had the clear advantage. It's stuff like that. You don't have to get a cool montage play every single fight. Just do what you have to do and get it done. This kind of thing goes back to the win conditions thing. If you have already met the win condition, why invest more resources into the fight? In this meta, you do not have to team wipe to win. You only have to get a small but significant advantage to start winning more fights and more games. Focus on valuable targets like the enemy carry DPS and the enemy supports. If you only get 1 or 2 of either type, you're going to win games faster because of the smarter ult economy. At number 3, I'm gonna say it, you're just dying too much. Now, just stop dying. But before you type forehead in the comments, please just hear me out. Why the heck are you pushing up after you've already won the fight? And why are you chasing a butterfly when your team needs your damage to contribute to the bulk of the team fight? Focus on the basics first, and then slowly get used to extending a bit once your game sense is better and you start getting a bit more comfortable. It's gonna make a huge difference for you, and you're going to have way better games. Your teams may suck bad, but you can still get value out of them. Your teams are there to provide you with a specific value that you can use, so don't underestimate the help that 5 people nearby has, even if they're not directly contributing to your well-being. It's typically a bit better to play safe and play back than overextend and have the high chance to not kill and just die alone. Assess the risk and make plays based on the risk versus the reward of a play. At number 2, you're just not using the right DPS. If you're a DPS player, there is no reason for you to only play 1 or 2 DPS. Have some options and know what tools are right for the job. If you're playing a Genji into triple tank and triple support, what are you really going to do for your team? It's better to play something like Junkrat, Reaper, or Pharah in that situation, in my opinion. Know what kind of comps your heroes counter and know what they synergize with. The way to figure that out is by watching the pro plays counter swap and also thinking of what kind of abilities the enemies have. If they have a lot of range, playing something that is only effective at a close range isn't a good idea. If the enemy only plays at close range, playing something with long range is a good idea. If the enemy has a high health pool with lots of heals, burst damage is better. If the enemy has a low health pool and high damage, you're opened up to playing heroes that do damage over time, but you do have to play something that can avoid that damage. Think about it like that rather than hitscan counters Pharah, McCree counters Tracer, Reaper counters tanks, because often these are situational counters, where when you say counter, what you actually mean is counterplay leaning in the favor of a specific hero. That's why phrases like favored matchup exist. It's explaining that you're more likely to do well against a specific hero, but there's still counterplay that the enemy can make to win that fight. Know what you're playing and why you're playing them, and you're going to have way better games, and you won't have to get to the SR equivalent skill level for your hero to actually climb. So if you're a diamond level Widow but you counterpick a lot, you can easily get to masters by playing a bunch of diamond level counterpicks. And last but not least, at number 1, a bit of a shorter one, but you need to just be a better communicator. If you're on DPS, you've got this special ability to know the status of the positioning of the enemy team, their health, and typically their ult charge. If you're playing DPS, just communicate these threats to your supports, communicate the positioning to your tanks, and make their lives easier. DPS players are notoriously team unfriendly, which is a problem that is a really big issue for some players. If you're a DPS player that communicates concisely and helpfully, you're going to have so much of a better time in your ranked games, since you'll be receiving help from your team constantly. However, with that said, don't expect them to always help you out. If they don't and they're not using their comms, sometimes you can just stop using comms and it'll still be okay. You have that option as well, but just keep in mind that you do have a mic and you should be using it. Coordinate your ultimate, coordinate positioning, dives, and etc. You can easily do this as a DPS, plus it'll help you if you ever decide to go tank or to support. You'll learn the game in a much better manner and you'll be able to control the team fights for your team in a better way so that they can set up the win conditions for you so that you can meet them and be the hero for your team. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know why you enjoyed it, and if you did actually like it, drop a like on the video and let me know why in the comments down below so that I can make these videos constantly better. If you didn't like it, feel free to let me know why in the comments down below so that I can just improve these guides every day. If you want to join the Blizzard Guides community, be sure to check out our Discord in the link in the description, or follow our Instagram at overwatch.guides or our Twitter at blizzard_guides. If you liked our videos, we've got more tips and tricks videos just like these, and if you want something a bit different, we also have weekly Twitch highlight videos that you can check out every single Monday. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. My name is Nate, and this was Blizzard Guides.